Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
Do you know if you look up Maple Leaf Gaming on YouTube, you find a channel based on Fallout 4?
Really?
Yeah, I was looking you guys up right now, and I found that, and I don't think you're about that. I mean, you might like the game.
What is your guys' YouTube?
It's called Drop Dice Don't Count. So it's not directly connected to Maple Leaf Wargaming.
Okay.
But it's something we're doing kind of in partnership.
Sure. All right. Is
project.
Drop Dice Don't Count going to be sponsoring you guys? You guys going to get some patches made and put on your jerseys? Because your jerseys at LVO were sick.
Dude, yeah. One of our friends, Reese, one of our members, he absolutely smashed it with the jersey. He designed everything. He designed the logo. He went up to his father-in-law's. He like hand pressed all the lettering. He got everything embroidered. Yeah, it was just
so good. I bought 2.
Oh, nice. I think you guys have 6 videos up so far. Very, very good quality videos as well. You guys have a lot of good editing and shit. I love it.
Yeah, Gordon's editor. So we're learning as we're going. So we're it's the guys who normally play on the channel. They're 40k converts, so they're still kind of learning the ropes of Kill Team.
Oh, but Niall's got the bug.
Yeah, Niall's got the bug now. Yeah, he did really well in the 40k at LVO. So he's got a good competitive mindset for this sort of thing. So I'm sure he'll be picking up really quickly.
The two give you so many cross skills.
I was talking to him after every game. He'd come over and spend some time, and I always found my way, over to him or him to me, and we were just chatting away, in between everyone kind of doing stuff at LVO. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, his run was amazing. Yeah, he went 5-1 in the end. It was his last game, and his dice just betrayed him.
Did he get top 16?
No, he didn't. He just missed out. I think anger on charge, and he whiffed his roll. I don't think he made 1 wound through or something. So yeah, a bit gutting way to go out, but I think he was happy with how he did.
Yeah,
it's the year-on-year improvement. That's key.
That's it happens. It happens every now and then. It's cool that you guys are. Is Drop Dice only going to be doing battle reports? Are you guys going to be doing something else with your guys' content, or is it just battle reports?
We're not sure yet. I think we'll probably do a few maybe short episodes, maybe discussing the meta, a few roundtables talking about like what we've been working on hobby wise, what events we've been playing in. Maybe next year at LVO we could do a little commentary about that. So yeah, we're keeping it open for the time being.
Fantastic.
I had to say your Drop Dice Don't Count are probably some of the best Kill Team battle reports I've seen.
Yeah.
And, there's only realistically 5 that are up to watch. At least am I looking at that right?
Yeah. So we've just started. We're going to get better as well. So yeah, we're really excited about how we're improving with each episode and like how the level of play is getting there and like the editing and stuff. So yeah. Yeah.
My 2 favorite are Six Sided and this now. I haven't actually seen. I mean, I saw your guys' setup. You guys have a really fucking sick setup, by the way. That was a fucking tongue twister. Jesus. I'm liking it. Things are. You guys got good painted armies too. I think that's one of the things that really turns me off from battle reports is specifically like tabletop. What's it called? The one. There's like 140K one that I dislike. Tabletop
Titans?
Yeah, let me check.
Oh,
Tactics. They all sound the same.
I know, right? They love that alliteration.
No, Titans are the big boys.
Jesus, that was loud.
I
think it is Tabletop Titans. Yeah,
the ones in California, right?
So here's the thing. I haven't seen any of their new stuff. Tabletop Titans, right? Their little logos are sick, right? But before they started getting a lot of commission artists to do some of their like main focal pieces for their kind of like logos, like what are these called? The thumbnails for their YouTube videos. They had some really not painted well 40K teams. And it was really, really like telling. Like, I was looking at this one and somebody just had like, they had like the worst painted Guardians. Like they look like eBay rescues.
Ooh.
And I was like, and they just did a quick glance and I was like, oh, just right there. It hit me in the soul, you know, like, I think it's super important to have really nicely painted teams. And I like that your guys' stuff has some good, really nice painted teams. So.
Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah, we tried to make it cinematic with the Into the Dark walls. I think next time we'll be doing a bit of Beta Decima as well, which might film nicely as well. Yeah, we'll get that two-dimensionality, which should be cool.
So why Beta Decima? Is it the new hot thing? Do you guys actually think it's viable? I mean...
We're going to give it a go.
I need to play it. I need to play it a bunch of times.
I mean, it's fucking trash,
it'll be fun. Once I learned Into the Dark, I'm like, okay, this is now just another fun way to play.
Okay, George.
Beta Decima will bring the same thing in.
Just play. No, it's bad, guys. It's awful. It's awful.
I played one game on it. It was yesterday. It was against Jason from Just Another Kill Team podcast on TCS.
Okay.
He was playing all incursors, and it was map 5.
Mm.
And I was running the vicious. I lost by 1 point. So the dice were crazy. I messed up my tac ops. But the jump test, man, the jump test stressed me out. I failed one at critical point, and yeah.
So in order for Beta Decima to be okay, there's a few things. I'm a very map orientated person, right? I'm a very competitive orientated person. I have very strong opinions about Beta Decima. If you just play Pathfinders, you pretty much just win. So unless if you're playing against like, you know,
other Pathfinders or something,
or Harlequins who can just be like, oh, it doesn't matter. You can't see me no matter what, you know?
Yeah, I think it just needs to pass. Like, because remember when Into the Dark first came out with those original missions, and it was didn't play quite as well.
Here's the problem.
It's a bit of polish, I think. But a bit of polish should be fine.
Here's the problem, George. Here's the problem. Are you ready for the problem?
Hit me.
Okay. The problem is they've already come out with the Crit Ops pack. The Crit Ops pack fixed Into the Dark. And Into the Dark was bad specifically because they had 5... it was fine if you ran an all Into the Dark tournament with the old stuff because everyone was scoring low amount of points. You couldn't score the same amount of points in open as you could on Into the Dark. So when they eventually came out with the Crit Ops version, you could still score the same amount of points on Into the Dark as you could on open because they had the same amount of objectives. They had the same amount of this. They had the same amount of this. Dude, I think map 6 or 5 or whatever, they have 5 or 6 objectives all in the center of the board.
Map 5 is nuts. It's all on the big unit in the middle. And it's impossible to get there unless you fly. So
yeah. And then teams that ignore obscuring. So here's to make Beta Decima competitively viable. Here's the thing. I've heard Beta Decima is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, right? In order to make Beta Decima competitively viable, obscuring has to change, right? Or they need to change the ultimate wording of the mist, right? Maybe the mist doesn't grant visibility, right? On the bottom floor or whatever, or this is an and statement. And there should be absolutely no jump tests. You should just automatically be able to move over anywhere that you can move. You have to move because when you start adding in more and more RNG, right? Imagine this. Imagine a higher tech player, okay, dying, failing his reanimation roll. And then trying to jump from one spot to the next spot and failing that roll too. And then that person dies. I mean, when you have RNG in the game, it just fucking sucks.
And the more layers you add, the more ridiculous it starts to become.
Exactly.
Also with the advantage of the objectives as well. I think should we use flat objectives? Should we use the plastic ones that come in the kit? Do they count as advantage? Can you shoot over the sea? Like there's a lot of questions I think which still need to be answered. But on higher tech, I don't think we should be too worried about them with the chrono mine. Like they're going to absolutely make people miserable on this boards, I think.
I mean, just switch teams.
I mean, yeah, but I don't care what Shane says. They're still fucking dog trash. Dog water is what the Jimmy Kelly calls teams now, right?
Yeah.
They're still dog water until somebody proves them otherwise.
Oh, dude, I'm kind of tempted to give him a go. Proxy him up as Thousand Suns.
You could 100%, but we're going to go through some stats later on, and according to Games Workshop, they are competitively viable, but just barely. You guys, you'll see, because the problem is like they placed really, really poorly at LVO, right? But out of 141 games since December, this team is still not performing. It's performing literally at 46% win rate.
I don't know, that guy Dan in England, he came second at Warhammer World with them.
I mean, that's like saying that this one time Salvagers got second on shooty maps at New York Open too.
Hey, I don't know. Well, I think we're going to be surprised with Hyrotech. I think there's something there.
I think that they need another buff, but that's besides the point. They need to fix reanimation.
I
love how spicy this shit is. Let's go,
dude. Reanimation
needs to be fundamentally rethought.
I think
the casino mechanic is too much. It's the same thing in 40K with GSC. It was a similar mechanic. 4-up, you get a whole unit back.
Mm-hmm.
It's too feast or famine. It's hard to balance too.
Yeah,
like that George, the game I played against Voyen.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, I had killed 2 guys.
It's crazy.
Like, you made every single 3-up.
Yeah.
Here's the other problem. Why do goats, the Felgor, have a better reanimation or death mechanic than Necrons? It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't.
If the Necrons are angrier, they might help them a bit. But I was talking to Shane about this. I think, if I had to change it, I think if they failed the first one, fine, whatever. But I think the second roll you make should be guaranteed.
I think that you should roll a dice, and on a 1 or 2, they come back in 3 turns. On a 3 and 4, they come back in 2 turns, and on a 5 and 6, they come back full health the next turn.
Yeah, I quite like that.
I mean, or you just get rid of the roll completely, and you're just like, oh, they come back wounded.
Yeah, they come back injured. I think it'd be the easiest thing, and then Living Metal heals them the next turn.
Yeah.
And if they die, then the second time, then they're gone completely.
Yeah,
something super super simple, so we can just like make so. They have the same problem as Warp Coven. I think we've said it a couple times on the pod. They're too complicated for their own good. They need the KISS method. Keep it soup. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it soup.
Right? Yeah, keep it soup. But yeah. So, but before we get too far into the weeds on this bad boy, you both attended LVO. Thank you both for coming.
Loved it. Always a great time.
Yeah, thanks for hosting.
Absolutely. George, what was your final placing with novitiates?
I went 6-3. I think I came 19th. So
it's really good.
Top 20.
Nice.
Yep, I was pretty happy with that.
It's really impressive because we had 131 players this year. And last year we had 87. So like top 8 last year is pretty much like top 12. So essentially you were almost like top 14 from if you were, or top 12 if we were counting like percentage wise from last year. And it's just like being in that top percentile is just absolutely insane, dude. That's some good shit. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I was pretty new to them as well. I picked them up over the new year, and honestly, like with the run,
you texted me on like right after Christmas, and you're like, "I bit the bug. I'm going novitiates." I was like, "You gonna get them finished in time?" Yeah. I'm like, all right.
He got them finished in time. But he still needed to pick them earlier, like a solid month earlier would have been great.
Or yeah. But yeah, the people I've faced as well. I got to play Travis, had a rematch against him. Travis Cheng from Just on the Kill Team podcast. Finally got a game against Nick Craven as well.
Oh, I love Nick.
Yeah, we went like my first ever tournament was.
He whooped my ass. Did he whoop your ass?
He whooped my ass. He got a dirty crack off against me, and then after that it was GG.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we both went to our first tournament together ages ago, like 2 years ago, back in Philly. It was one of the basement Wargamer ones. So it's cool. We finally got a game in. Finally got a game against Chris Barkey as well, which was really fun.
Ooh. You just ran the gauntlet of insanely hard people, didn't you?
Yeah, dude. It was really fun. Really good matches. So
amazing. Yeah. And then Vivek here played the fabled Vet Guard and taking second place, not dropping a single match, going undefeated. Kind of.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Super happy about it.
Yeah. Then you ended up playing Orion on stream at the end against.
That was a fun time. It was a good time.
The nasty Felgor, a menace. How was your time at LVO, and what was your favorite match?
LVO is always a great time. I love the new format, 9 games over 3 days. I'm a huge fan. Kept me going the whole time.
Amazing.
Start to finish. My favorite game. Ooh. There's one against one of the Kellen clan who was playing Talons. That was
Jesh.
Yeah, Jeshua. There we go. That was an absurd match. The Custodians and Sisters with the Talons ploy on Into the Dark. There's a lot of weird stuff. And it was a really fun one to play. I'd never played on that side against Talons. That was definitely one of the more interesting ones because it was real wild card. Absolute banger of a match had to be the one against Adrian. Because it was a calculated bloodbath on both sides from start to finish. Was
that on open or Into the Dark?
That was on Into the Dark.
Okay.
I was just happy not to lose on Into the Dark. It was great.
That's a tie, right? I actually think Vet Guard is just as strong on Into the Dark if you know how to play them on Into the Dark as open. Yeah. I'm sure we could make a whole podcast about Vet Guard. What was your favorite operative and your MVP going into and going out of LVO?
So going into would probably be the sniper.
Okay.
He usually does pretty good work. Has a tendency to one-shot the Navy Breacher Endurant time and time again.
Nice.
But for this LVO, the regular trooper with the crack grenade is the real hero of the team.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. It does a lot. 3s rolling 1s with AP1 just does a lot of work, and it's a real punch-up for a guy. Even if he whiffs, you don't particularly care that he whiffed and that he's out there now having whiffed. It's just a really good tool to even 3 APL off the comms, move dash grenade.
Fair.
Get a 1-for-1 trade early. The demo man is fun, but the level of play, people see him coming from a mile away and just either kill him or don't interact with him. But the 3 APL crack grenade, it gets people.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or even the 3 APL stealing a point as well.
Yeah, that too.
You've done that a few times against me.
That's fascinating. I typically never use that. I usually put my my crack grenade or frag grenade on my medic or my comms because I typically save it for the end of the game because I use my little peons to score points as fast as early and trade points wise rather than I like that. That's cool. I like that there's so many different ways to actually play Vet Guard and play them efficiently and well, you know?
And to a high level as well. I'd say that Chris plays them completely differently to how Vivek plays them.
Yeah, and I heard that Chris plays them extremely differently than from me as well. So that means that we probably all three have a different play style. And it's really cool that the team is so versatile that you can actually play a team really viable in 3 ways and still do so well with them, you know?
Well, here's a big example. The medic has left my roster forever. He is forever now on the side bench.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Guardsmen die.
Yes.
Is the way of the world. The APL loss on the medic, the positioning needs of the medic. I find just the hardened veteran, which was George's idea originally, was to think about that swap. Just having that extra one guy who you can throw around and who could potentially survive one shooting activation from something.
That's fair.
If he gets into melee, we'll do 4 damage usually. If you're at the point where you're getting into melee, you're popping the strap play for auto retain. So you get nice 4 guaranteed damage. Spike it up to 5. You roll well in melee, you could really punch up. He's just a nice little guy. and I feel like he does more for the team than the medic. I was using the medic as a normal trooper more often than not. Like if I was doing that, I might as well swap it out for someone who can punch up a little bit.
Fair.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I think that I have also come close to that conclusion of dropping the medic entirely. I think there are still like certain teams that you take him against, but I have found myself dropping him quite a lot for actually another gunner, because I usually always take the hardened, and sometimes I'll drop the confidant for the hardened. Except on Into the Dark, you always take the confidant on Into the Dark.
GA2 with the doors.
Yeah, and it's disgusting. I killed a lot of Gallerpox with the confidant, and then I got scored. Then I rolled really well, and he finished off mine is a she finished off Thrice Cursed, which is pretty cool. Never killed a giant guy in close combat with a chainsword before, but when they roll all misses and you roll all hits and a crit, you can take one down. But George, you took novitiates, which performed super, super well as well at LVO as a team, right? I think at LVO, the stats were on average, novitiates players placed 36th at LVO, and there were 7 players playing them.
Yeah, I think 3 of us went 6-3. I think Kellen, he did better than that as well. So I think there are quite a few of us who did pretty well with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're a hardcore team. Very scary.
Yeah, they are. I've always found a little bit of trouble playing against them when I play Vet Guard. What was your favorite matchup at LVO?
My favorite matchup or my favorite match?
Your favorite match?
So I played Remy. He came all the way from France. So I played him at my final game of New York Open in October. It was a Legionary mirror match back then, and he managed to sneak it. So but we had a really nice game. Like, he's a really friendly opponent. He's like super clear, really good at the rules. So we had a rematch. So I think it was the last game of the tournament. So I think it was Lutz. I can't remember. Yeah, Lutz. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On one of your open boards. So it's kind of controlled the game. But he's just a really, really nice opponent. Pleasure to be around. And yeah, it was cool to finish on a win.
Yeah. Speaking of Remy actually was runner-up to Triple Threat, having a nice painted team, having great sportsmanship and great attitude, and also doing well in a tournament.
Oh, dude, his Legionaries are beautiful. His Nurgle boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his little display case is awesome. It's really cool to see.
Arturo Cortez took the Triple Threat award, but Remy was runner-up, so it's pretty good. It's good that he got a shout out.
But yeah, I had a good game against Travis as well on Pathfinders.
Yeah,
which is always quite an interesting matchup. So I'd previously played Warp Coven and Harlequins, both teams who struggle quite a lot into Pathfinders. So it was quite nice to finally have a team which has a decent matchup into them. That was nice to.
Yeah, it seems like shooty hordes have a little bit harder of a matchup, especially if you're not super prepared into novitiates, just because you have blinding light, and it can be difficult to make sure you have 2 valid shots every time you shoot.
Yep, blinding aura. Yeah, very hard to play around. But I would say the Vet Guard matchup is quite difficult, though. I think they definitely have a lot of play there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Maybe I need to pull up one of the other guys' playing styles. Figure that out.
It's all about the ankle hold.
Yeah, ankle holds. That's one thing is I've never lost into Colts, and I take a lot of hand axes. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that's just the nature of the beast. You guys both did super, super well. Giacomo, what was your favorite matchup that you saw on stream?
There's quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go by days, because I think by days is easier than picking one.
Sure.
The first day was Scouts.
Okay, Rob and Kellen, right?
Yeah,
Scouts.
just getting to see scouts for the first time is
Day
exciting.
one. Mhm.
Getting to see their tricks. The second day was, what are they called right now? I can't remember the Tyranids' name off the top of my head. Like what the
Hive
team is
Fleet?
called. Hive Fleet. Hive Fleet versus Star Striders. That was a really fun one, day 2.
Okay.
And the last one, I'm actually going to give it to Mr. Vivek here. Vivek versus Orion in the last game. That was like so tight. There's constant moments. Everyone was just like staring at the screen. I think even more than in the final round.
That is fair.
Vivek, have you watched it back yet?
No, but I've sent it out to everybody, and everybody else watched it.
So the trauma.
Too much stress. I've fought Orion before. It is difficult. He is a very good player.
I had a zen moment throughout the whole game, and then afterwards, that wall came crashing down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a great video of you seeing that you won and then embracing your team.
It's a very lovely moment.
It's a very good moment that Saya captured. So eventually, you guys will see it, and we'll make sure we tag you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just glad we put Canada on the map. Team Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Team Canada, you guys popped off, I think. Let me pull up the data so I'm not lying.
Shout out to George for all the practice.
Yeah, we played quite a lot of your Into the Dark maps in the months leading up to it. So we had
Do you think that helped?
100%.
yeah.
Considering you guys probably played at least half of the tournament on Into the Dark or close to, do you guys like the asymmetrical maps better than the what's it called? The symmetrical maps?
I love them so much, and I didn't get to play on one, which is
you played symmetrical the whole time?
Yeah, it was my only LVO regret because I love those asymmetrical maps.
Yeah, it just makes the attacker defender role a lot more interesting. Like, just mixing everything up. Yep. There's some really nice, you can tell you put a lot of thought into them, and all the revisions have really made a nice packet to.
Yeah, it was, we had a lot of good times practicing on those maps. It was very fun.
Good. So you guys, the Maple Leaf Wargaming team, boosted up 23 ranks from where you originally were. I think you guys came in at 56th and ended at 33rd in the world as a team. I don't think you guys had a terrible lot of games underneath you leading into the tournament as under your guys' actual names.
Yeah, we were swapping around MLWG, then it spelt out. So I think our results are split into two. But yeah, we know that now. Yeah, our teammate Alex did really well with Void Dancers as well. I think he went 5-4, 6-3. So yeah,
your entire team did super well. I think you guys had a 56% win rate overall as a team.
Smash it. There you go.
Yeah, so that's like signaling to Games Workshop that you need a nerf, right? Because you're over the 55% win rate.
I mean, they could just jack up our prices. That's a good way to nerf us.
That's true. Now, you guys said something interesting a little bit ago. Bringing it home to Canada. Now, there's two crazy things that happened this year. Firstly, Alexa, Australian, winning Worlds. Only 40 players in that tournament. LVO at 131. You guys got second. Objectively, even though the caliber might have been really crazy at Worlds, just as difficult, if not more difficult, to get second at LVO. I've also heard that Australia is coming to LVO next year, or at least some of their players are wanting to. Are you guys planning to come back next year?
100%.
100%. Yeah, we'll fight them for the crown of the Commonwealth. We'll
all right.
See who's number one. We've got one of theirs as well. Jason from Kitchener. He's originally from Australia, so he's one of our local TOs in the town over.
Oh,
so we got a bit of a friendly local rivalry going on. So his team, Chimera, I think they did very well this year at New York Open and like locally as well.
Yeah.
They were missing at LVO, which is
Trust me, he knows as well. I let him know.
So another thing that's interesting over this past week, we've seen Games Workshop come out and show off all of their tournaments that they're going to be throwing this year. So we have, Tacoma, Texas, Florida, and Atlanta, I believe.
That sounds right because they did Atlanta last year.
Yeah. So, are you guys planning to go to any GW events? Because they got rid of Warhammer Fest, which had 118 players. LVO crushed it so bad that they decided that they couldn't compete anymore, I guess. Shots fired. What is there any other events in the US you guys are planning to go to that people need to watch out?
I'm planning to go to at least one other major, and then probably New York Open again because it's drivable.
Okay.
That's
you guys are all the way over there, so it's late on that side, huh?
It's only 9:30.
Okay,
Fine.
fair.
Right, so you got the ticket for Kill Scream, right? For
Yes,
that? Yeah.
and I will go do that because they seem like a great bunch of guys, and that sounds like a great time.
Sweet. Hope to see you there.
So we have our Canadian Tabletop Championships in May as well. I think it's May 25th.
Okay.
So that was our one golden ticket last year, which got stolen by one of the Brooklyn people.
That was what's his name?
We'll get them this year. We'll get it.
True, I think.
Yeah, true.
So
The other Vetguard player.
Exactly. So I think that we were a bit disorganized for that. Our scene hadn't quite kind of developed when that was. I think it was May last year. So we've only really seen like a big uptick in our scene probably from the summer onwards. So I think we're going to be a bit more prepared next time if he wants to come up and defend his title.
Amazing. I hope True does. He's a very good Vetguard player. I played him. We tied and at Nova, and he got me on the tiebreakers. He's a very, very good player. And the funny thing is that me and him play the fucking same. We play almost the exact same way. Yeah. So it was very, very interesting to see that mirror matchup.
The true mirror.
I hate mirror matchups, dude. They fucking suck.
I love them so much.
Oh, do you?
It's a fun time.
That's fair. Okay, so is there any other kind of big tournaments you guys are thinking about or either running? Is there any other tournaments you're running in Canada that people can look to go to?
Yeah, so we have a regional Discord called Great Lakes Kill Team. So we have like a proper calendar and basically like a tournament circuit, which from the beginning of this year, it's just kind of exploded. So as Vivek was saying earlier, we've got a tournament basically every week until end of March.
Wow.
mid-March, which is just crazy. And I was a bit worried. I thought we were like oversaturating people, but one of them, which is in Burlington on the 3rd at Torchlight Games, it got sold. 18 places got sold out overnight, and they're thinking of expanding it, which is good. So people are loving their kill team here, which is great. And we got Shane coming up for that as well, which should be good.
Yeah, good. Shane's an amazing person. If Shane decides to go to your guys' golden ticket, you better watch out. Homie's a monster.
Yeah, he's come to one of our events before as well. So we've been hosting. We're going to start hosting monthlies at Maple Leaf War Gaming.
Is that a store? Is that like?
No, we got a really good deal. So like our filming studio, we have a different studio which we rent, and it's basically just a big open space where we have tables, terrain, and just
what?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
that's fucking sick.
An amazing spot, high ceilings, natural light.
Is it like a club where people like pay money to come and play monthly? Like, is it just something that you guys have like a, philanthropy? Is that what it's called? Like you guys just are like, hey, we all want to play here. So we all pay X a month to go and play, or
that's basically it. So we got like a proper sign up sheet and stuff. So we let people know who's going to be there each game day. And then it's a certain amount, each person contributes, and then we pay the rent and buy terrain, buy tables, stuff like that. So
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's just a nice way of organizing things. So we're not tied to a store directly, but we are sponsored by Wheels and Wings. So we collaborate quite a lot with them. They sponsor our tournaments. They give us prizes. They sponsor the channel as well, which is really cool.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Yep.
Do you have like an affiliate through them, or how do they sponsor you? Do they just give you guys like price support?
Yeah, price support, and we've got a really good relationship with them as well. So
Amazing.
Yeah, affiliate link's a good idea though. I might have to pass it on.
Yeah. It's definitely helps. You don't see a lot from affiliate links, but to help pay the rent, anything is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and we're helping them as well if they help us. So
absolutely, it's a good symbiotic relationship, to say the least. Is there anything else that you guys are doing that everyone who's listening to the podcast should know about?
In terms of organizing locally,
I don't know. Instagram, is there maybe locally? I know that you yourself, George, worked on the command point maps for the, I think it just started this Monday, right? The tournament.
Correct. Yep.
100 signups, correct?
Over 100,
Very
yeah.
cool.
It's on TTS. We've got 2 divisions, a European one and a North American one. It's just recently by time zone. And we're using the LVO style terrain for that, which is really cool.
Yeah, and you made those maps on TTS, right?
Yep, made them ages ago, but we finally made them look good. We fixed a few issues with them, and then now they play really well. So
Nice.
yeah, really happy with them.
That's good. That's real good. Where did your 3D design process come from? Is it your work, or did you just pick it up as a hobby?
Through work. So I'm a landscape architect. So basically everything that's not the building. So I do quite a lot of 3D modeling for sites and buildings and furniture and stuff like that. So
Nice.
which is fun. Yeah, but yeah, we're finally investing in a 3D printer at work as well. So it should be good.
Nice.
Which 3D printer? I'm a nerd.
So we're looking at the new Bamboo, the A1.
Okay, yeah.
Which is
The
big.
X-
I
the
know.
X1 Carbon?
Yeah,
Or the-
I'm not sure, but I know it's been recalled because there's some issues with some fire safety or something. So we're just waiting to pick it up properly. But
That's fair. Yeah, the X1 Carbon is a really, really good machine. It prints really fast. The only downside to it is that it's decently loud as it prints.
Yep.
But how fast it prints, you hear it going on in the background, unless if you're recording a podcast. It should be fine. Or if you're doing battle reports or something like that, it'll definitely be audible. But it's going to be at work, so I guess you'll be fine.
yeah, just sneak in the middle of the night, set something off, and come collect in the morning. That's
Exactly.
Don't tell the boss.
Nope. He will never do that, boss of George. Vivek, what do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm an IT manager. I run a little IT department for a national leasing company.
Cool.
Okay.
It's neat. I was hired on to take the business from pen and paper to digital, so it's been a fun few years doing that.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
Oh, it keeps me busy. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You know?
I love finding out what everyone does for a living, especially when they place really well at tournaments, because it's like, Orion won last year, LVO, and he's a cook.
He's used to the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stress,
The deadlines, the quick thinking, got to think on your feet.
Mm-hmm. And then Austin placed second last year, and he's a phone salesman for AT&T. So it's
All
cool.
walks of life.
Yeah, it's cool to see. It's not dominated by just engineers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vivek, you played quite a bit of chess though before, right? Do you think?
Yeah, I grew up playing competitive chess in Canada, so that was it's a real good foundational element, especially at the perfect sweet spot when you can soak it all in. I played between 6 and 12, right in there, right in those formative years. Really does help with any kind of strategy game.
It does. I think I started Warhammer when I was 10, and I played it competitively. So, any kind of real strategy early on in your lifetime, or just simultaneously. So, for instance, an interesting fact about Jeshua. Jeshua was doing okay at tournaments, and then he picked up competitive chess, and he played competitive chess a lot, and he got a lot better at Kill Team really, really quickly. And I think there's something to be said by playing multiple strategy games, or maybe it's just chess. to become a better kill team player, like you can just see moves better, I'm assuming, and it just like becomes more natural.
I think a lot of the concepts are quite similar as well. So you've got ideas like kind of tempo, trading material, when to go for points, and then just kind of visualizing the lines, I think.
And the way the kill teams are laid out, the operatives, everybody can only do a certain amount of fixed things, similar to chess pieces. There's a lot of connections, and the foresight, being able to think 2 or 3 activations ahead, that's core to chess as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, George, you like to switch teams a lot, and you're an amazing painter. You're an amazing painter. In fact,
compliment sandwich.
Vivek knows. He honestly, in the run-up to Selfie, every single morning, he'd wake up to a message from me being like, Vivek, I'm going to play Hand the Archon. Vivek, I'm going to play Novitiates. Vivek, I'm going to play Warp Coven. I think he was more stressed about my team choice.
100%. Because it was like, okay, I feel ready. I feel good to go. I'm comfortable on Into the Dark. And George is like, okay, how many games of Novitiates? I have 3. Let's go. Fine.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. I know that one of the things that you told me in private, sorry, I'm going to leak it here. Yeah. You told me, and see now how stressed you are. You told me that you were like, Dakotah, I know you hate Star Striders. My goal is to paint them so nice that you enjoy Star Striders. And you were making that goal. I was like, wow, these look fucking dope. And then you didn't bring them. Like, what's up with that?
Oh, I don't know.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. I still need to finish them off. Maybe I should take them out of retirement.
See, I'm just helping at this point. I'm just like making things worse for you.
Dude, but that's the thing. That I don't know. Like, I like how I paint them up, but like the Commandos matchup and the Felgor in that field, I just thought maybe it's not. But John did very well with them. So yeah. So it's definitely doable. I think Ryan did place pretty well with them in past tournaments as well. So
I think they clearly have their weaknesses, but I currently think that depending on how Games Workshop addresses the year of Melee going forward, we should see maybe their way of addressing it is just being like, hey, everyone plays Beta Decima now, and Melee sucks. But to be honest, Felgor still smash on Beta Decima. It's pretty sad. So do Commandos. So, I mean, what can we say? It's going to be interesting to see how they address some things. Now, I wanted to talk about some stuff, some stats, I should say, for this upcoming. No one's really known that we've been really working on this behind the scenes. We really big fans of Can You Roll a Crits videos and his stats and stuff like that, and Hot Sauce Teddy. And I'm a stat person. I've always done little stats here and there for different tournaments and released, like, I think at Worlds, I did like a live up to date. I was keeping stats of teams and how things were going. And I was the one who figured out, Colts had an 81% win rate, which is still the most, it's so fucking gross. But that statistic alone is obscene. And Games Workshop thought they fixed them, and they didn't. So here, let me go live real quick and show you guys. We have tabulated over 3,700 games, and the data that we've tabulated is specifically people's tournaments that are of 16 players and 4+ rounds. So if you had a tournament that meets those 2 requirements, your data has been collected by us. And specifically by our stats man, David. And he without David, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. So thank you, David. Specifically, we've collected tournament data from 6 games from Russia, 6 from US, 3 from Poland, 3 from Spain, 3 from the UK, 2 from Peru, 1 from Colombia, 1 from Czech, 1 from Germany, 1 from Italy, and 1 from Sweden. It's interesting that Spain hasn't had a lot of tournaments that meet this requirement. Now, there are multiple tournaments that they've had with 20-player tournaments or this or that, but they've only had 3 rounds. So they got nixed. And the reason why we went with this format is that it gives a better spread of teams. It has more undefeated matchups and multiple other things. And I think LVO, we had like 1,200 games. So LVO is about a third of all of this data, which is insane. But when you look at it, there are some very interesting stats, and we won't go over all of the teams. We'll probably do that in a YouTube video, but we'll go over some of the things that we think are problems, and maybe some of the things that are like really, really poor, or things that any of you guys find interesting, and we can talk about that too. So first and foremost, the biggest problem that we currently see is the Felgor Ravagers. They have 145 total games, 87 wins. So they're sitting at the highest win rate out of all teams, 58.67. And now here's the crazy part. They've showed up in only 14 tournaments of the 28 tournaments. And they've had a top 10% placing or top 3, whichever's greater, in 21. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's pretty nuts.
Wow.
So that means top 3 or top 10%, depending on how big the tournament is. 14 tournaments, placed top 10% 21 times. So if you had 30 players, we're still only pulling the top 3. Like there are multiple tournaments like LVO that they have 2 in the top 10 or the top 13. There are other tournaments where they're just like second place, third place, right? Like they're placing in the top 3 multiple times, which is insane. So
when does this data set start?
It started at the beginning of this data slate.
Okay.
So December 14th.
Even then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they got their buff.
58.6 is a little high. But the top 10% placing, that's nuts. 70%, that's a little.
Yeah, that's what you got to look for. I think the global win percentage is more the top 10% and the undefeated. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool data slate things that data things that we're pulling from this and being able to look at, and we've tabulated, right? So when we look at the Void Dancer troop, they also are quite a problem with the next highest win rate. They've showed up in 19 tournaments and placed in the top 10% 20 times.
Army-wide fly. You can't balance it.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I
right?
think those two teams, though, they're the skew teams, right? They're kind of skew melee with movement. So I think you have to kind of know how to play against them. And you kind of need to either have played them yourself, or you need to have someone who has played them quite a bit and you need the reps into them. So I think maybe some of that percentage might just be due to unfamiliarity with the team that the opponents have.
Yeah, it is a great like pop stomp team.
Yeah.
Someone who's even just at that intermediate stage was like, okay, I've got 20 games of Kill Team under my belt. They'll throw you massive curveballs especially on open. It's just hard to see coming.
Yeah. So I'll go back to this in a second, but there's a different interesting, do I have it here? No. So there's another interesting data slate that I have. It's not on this Google Doc one, but when you look at the teams about people where they place, right? So when you look at Maple Leaf Wargaming and you look at Plasma Spam, your two teams actually have in the entire world, out of all other teams in the world, had the highest top 10% placings this data slate.
Get in.
Yeah. So I think your team had 11 and Plasma Spam had 17. The next closest was 9. And then it went down dramatically from there. 7, 2, 3. There's a couple ones in there, but that's out of every single team in the world. So you guys probably contributed to some of these. And I know Orion had to have contributed some things to Felgor. I think every single tournament that he showed up in since December 14th, he placed in the top 10%. So that's either top 3 or whatever, right? So some of the Felgor Ravagers data is going to be skewed a little bit because such an advanced player took them.
Jimmy Kelly, Sam Rosen as well, who was pretty good with them. Yeah,
I think Jimmy Kelly and Sam Rosen, every tournament that they attended outside of, I think Jimmy didn't get In one of them, I think he took 4th, but Sam Rosen took 3rd. And I think it was a 14-player tournament, so that tournament wasn't even taken. So it's quite fascinating. So the other interesting thing, right, is that when we look at this other number, we can see how popular the team is. So overall, 3.88% of players are playing Felgor, 4.13 are playing Void Dancers. So it's not a terribly high number, but it is still about half of the number that we see the most popular team, which we will get to because they need a nerf. They are taken so often and they fucking suck. This data slate, they suck hard. But the next team we're going to go over is Chaos Cultists with the next highest win rate at 58.11, which is literally these 3 teams are within a percentage point of how overly powerful they are. Right? They've placed, they've only been in 8 tournaments, which is surprising to me, but they've placed in the top 10%, 50% of the time at 4. Right? And they've had 10 players playing them. So, you know, it's like 40% of people who've brought them have placed in the top 10%. It's pretty insane.
I mean, they're another team, a lot of moving parts, a lot of shenanigans, and it's complex enough that people might not want to try and play it. So if you do pick it up, start mastering it, yeah, I can see that, having sort of gone over what they could do. Did a full review of every kill team before LVO, just get an idea of what they could do. Yeah, that one's another understandable one. I think it's also just because the matchup is very rare. I think I've played against them once. That's
I think you have to play against them in a very certain way. Like you have to go, you've got to go out all guns blazing. Well, I think the slow burn approach that Alexa has kind of been spreading around, talking about like you can go 1-4 turn 1, just don't lose any of your devotees and just clean up in the late game with your torments. So I think with 53 games as well, I think it'd be interesting to see if that number stays with. Yeah,
it's interesting with Chaos Cultists because they've dropped so much in popularity. I think only the people that are semi decent with them are still playing them. So it's interesting to see that they're still performing at a really high win rate, even though only like 1.3% of kill team is actually still playing them competitively.
15 bodies as well. That's hard to chew through.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
you know what? I think I found my Switch.
Oh.
Oh no!
Chaos Cultists?
Guys, what have you done?
More than 14? Okay, and I'm speaking my language.
Yeah. Well, Chaos Cults is a really interesting change because they do have quite a lot of activations. They're a really high skilled team now because you can't just smooth brain play them like you used to. Like they got nerfed enough where you have to be good to pilot them well, you know?
There's some
to at least place
tricks as well, like with the mind twitch, with the -1 APL, like the out of activation dash. So mutating its combat, there's a lot they can do.
Absolutely. So we'll go over the next 3 teams that are in the problem area. And what's interesting is that Commandos are not in the 55% win rate, but they are the most dominant at high tables. We'll go over that in a second. So we have Blades of Cain, Novitiates, and Exaction Squad just above the 55% win rate value. They're at 55.74, 55.71, and 55.21. So I'm not sure if Games Workshop would say that these teams need to be adjusted because they are still at the 55%, or if they would actually look at these teams and be like, hey, these teams competitively seem to be overperforming just a tad. And what's the most interesting thing is that I said Exaction. And everyone did hear that right. Exaction Squad.
I've been mulling that over for a second.
It has a 55% win rate worldwide. And what's interesting is that in America, apparently no one knows how to play them because they performed at can you guys still see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Exaction played at a 46.67% win rate. So this means they've been overperforming in other regions in order to take away the 35 games that they had at LVO. So that's interesting, right? That's a very fascinating statistic because according to LVO's data, they need a buff. or actually they don't. They don't need a change, according to Games Workshop, where they like to, do that kind of stuff.
10% range.
Yeah. Novitiates and Blades of Cain. What's interesting is that Blades of Cain has 59 games, which is pretty interesting.
I think it's mostly new hotness. People you play against don't know the rules.
Yeah.
Players themselves probably don't fully know their rules. There's just
They're confusing.
a lot going on.
Yeah, like all the little things, like when they get the reroll, if it's in melee versus in range, like they have to be concealed when they do like the mortal wounds dash.
But here's the sad bit. They've showed up in 7 tournaments and they've placed in the top 10% 8 times. So that means that they placed, and they didn't place in the top 10% at LVO. So that means there was probably 2 tournaments out there that they placed in top 3, 2 of them to get that number, right? And only 12 people have played them. So the 3 players at LVO, every single, almost 9, that means that's just a staggering number that they placed in the top 3. I mean, some of that I think is due to new hotness, but I think going forward, this team may be really strong, because this team, I still believe, is only going to get better the more people play it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts. More people learn them.
Mm-hmm.
Find little tricks. They'll be better Harlequins.
Yeah. So Orc Commandos only has a 52% win rate. And I feel like if they get a nerf, it's going to drop dramatically. But their problem statistic is how many players have played them, how many tournament showings they've been to, how many undefeated counts they have, and how many times they've placed in the top 10. So it's all the other statistics outside of win rate. And hopefully Games Workshop takes that into account, because they're extremely dominant. They've had 8 undefeated runs, which is telling. It's very telling. We have 59 people have played them. They've showed up in 27 out of 28 tournaments, which is the highest number from any other team. They are also the most taken team, the second most taken team in Kill Team right now. They're the second most popular with 283 games, with a 7.6% of people playing them. And they have, they have 31 top 10 placings in 27 tournaments.
Oh, out of 59 players. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that played percentage is almost double what the average should be, and they're still punching up.
Yeah, it's. I feel like that means that people that don't play the team well must be not performing super great, and people who know how to play the team super well are just crushing. 8 undefeateds. The next highest is Felgor with 4 undefeateds. That means that they just won straight 8 tournaments being undefeated.
Wow.
Out of 28 tournaments. It's a lot.
Especially when you look past Commandos and Felgor, it is all 1s and 2s. I think I say 3 with no vitiates.
Mm-hmm.
You've got those 2, and then it kind of averages out across the rest, like 1 to 3, and you jump to 4, jump to 8.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So we'll move on to the bottom teams. The other teams, unless if you guys want to talk about them, we don't have to. But we have Phobos with a 44% win rate, Intercession with a 43% win rate, which is the 3rd most taken team. Warp Coven with a 43% win rate, Legionary with a 42% win rate. But check this out, everyone. They have Legionary are the most taken team by 50 games.
Yep.
321 games played compared to Commandos with 283 at an 8.7% play rate, but they only have a 42% win rate.
Yeah, that's pretty telling that the highest 6-man team is Phobos, right?
Yeah, and only just.
Where do you have the data for Talons? Are they higher than Phobos?
Talons, we didn't take any compendium because Compendium sucks. Sorry, my last podcast, Competitive Compendium. You don't get any
Literally,
stats.
we just talked about that.
There's a compendium in the top 8 at LVO.
Yeah.
We gotta show respect to the
Never did
compendium.
it. Oh god, if Talons are above Phobos, that's not looking good.
They were at LVO. You want to see the LVO stats?
Yeah, dude, I can see Talons being higher than them.
Yeah, so we have where's Talons? Talons of the Emperor had a 50% win rate.
Nice.
They're perfectly balanced. There you are.
Yeah, and I think Phobos had a 0.
Jeez.
Legionary had a 47.
Yeah.
Intercession had 51. So Intercession did have just barely at
Yeah.
LVO.
I think it
Where's
just
the
shows
Vanguard
how
on that?
hard it is to play with only 6 activations. If you look at all those top teams, they have 10 plus. I think 10's like the minimum.
8s as well.
8s, yeah.
So Hunter Clade was next. Hunter Clade had a 42%, has a 42% win rate. Justinian,
With that buff as well.
35%, 35 played games, 41% win rate. They're not great. And now here's the crazy one. Now I don't know if you guys listen to the podcast regularly,
I knew it.
but we talk about Casser Kings or Casser Knots.
Cast or not.
And let me tell you, they have the second worst win rate in all of Kill Team.
Jeez.
What the fuck? How wrong was I?
Very.
They're not Casser Kings. Holy shit, they're Casser Knots.
Like if you draw a line, at the 46, they basically lose to everything above it.
It's actually insane how bad the win rate is for the Casserkin. I thought ignoring obscuring would have done wonders for this team, but apparently they just fucking suck. It's fucking sad. 195 games played, only 84 wins, 103 losses. They have top 10%. Them placing is 14 games. They've placed in the top 10%.
Right, that's pretty good though, isn't it? 14.
It's decent.
Yeah.
It's relatively decent. So what it makes me sound like, to me, it sounds like that they do have a really differential skill cap, which is something that you wouldn't think about for this team. This team feels like they'd be really like in the center with their mechanic, their elite points. But I mean, we saw Austin take him to 6th place at LVO. And there's must be a couple other people out there, they have been played 40 times and they only have 14 top 10%. So they are relatively low on the percentage of 35% top 10% placings. But, and then the worst team in all of Kill Team is Farstalker Kinband, the Kroot. The Kroot are almost as bad as the Compendium Kroot, according to this data, with a 37% win rate. Fucking awful.
Yeah,
I mean, Compendia Kroot has the Kroot Talks at least.
Yeah, the Kroot slaps.
Dude,
the
slaps.
new model
at
as
least
well.
there is a
Yeah.
Farstalker band undefeated, but there's no Kazarkin undefeated.
That is true.
Touche.
That is true.
It's a one
So-
crew
I mean,
legend.
4% difference, but there's that one guy.
Pretty fucking nutty. So
Dakotah, do you have individual pairings for the different factions? Like, do you have like Felgor's percentages into the other?
I don't have that. It might be something that we could work on for the future.
Yep.
But I do have every single Felgor's actual score and what they played into each one. Or like not what they played into, but what each individual score was and whether it was a win or a loss.
Nice, yeah, that'd be cool to see as well. See if there is a certain trends in the matchup, specific matchups.
Yeah,
So
where they struggle.
we have a couple line graphs, so you can kind of see this. It's a little difficult to tell on certain things, but you can see Commandos here. The top 10% placings is just like visually, it's kind of insane, right? Legionary, Felgor, Void Dancers are all pretty up there as well. And so is Veteran Guardsmen. Those are probably the next top 4, but yeah, it's pretty, I think the data that we're getting from this is meant mostly for competitive compared to like maybe what Games Workshop is. Maybe they look at all the data. So I think that Can You Roll a Crit I think he produces most of all of the data rather than like just looking at specifically like, I guess our data is skewed because we are only taking a certain amount from we're looking for a very specific set of what is an issue, not any kind of 8-player tournaments.
You're headhunting quality data, which you need at least that 16 players, 4 games to draw meaningful conclusions.
Yeah, while we probably don't have nearly as much data as Can You Roll Crits, I think that both data slates are super telling for different reasons, right? Like you obviously want to be like, hey, like how are Pathfinders performing versus everyone, right? And apparently right now they have a 51% win rate, but wait, what do we see here? 30 players. They've only showed up to 21 tournaments and they're at 16 top 10%. That's a little high at a 53%. You know, they're what?
Scout Squad.
They're at 8. Yeah, Scout Squad's actually insane. They have an insane number. Outside of LVO, which only had 1 player, they have they've shown up in 9 tournaments and they've placed in the top 10% 9 times. Wow. It's kind of crazy. So maybe they're busted too. Maybe Blades of Cain and Scouts are, since they're at the top, they're literally first, second, and third.
We got a box of them right behind me.
Yeah. And then you see Justinian and Intercession have the least likelihood of getting top 10%.
Intercession makes sense. It's usually everyone's intro to kill team. Team.
Which I think is good. I think it's needed.
Yeah.
But I think in order to fix Intercession, we need to revert all of the nerfs that was given to them.
I don't think that would fix it.
I don't think so either, but at least they'd be more fun to play. I like playing super fast moving tanks. They're a blast.
They are fun to play though. Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite like fun kill team to play? Like, do you guys have a favorite fun team?
I've played
Veteran Guardsman.
Vivek only plays Vanguard.
I played one team.
I've played quite a bit of Warp Coven. They're like my original team. I think with the original Kill Team Open, like they're my kind of go-to. It's fun for me, but not so much fun for my opponent.
Warp Coven.
Void Dancer Troop. I've played them a bunch on TTS. Yeah. They're so fun.
You just like ignoring rules, don't you, Vivek?
The casino elves.
So much fun. Be like, oh yeah, okay, hang on. Oh, terrain. I don't even need to think about it. All right, this is a move. Oh, barricades? Yeah, put 3 together, 4 together. It's fine. Fly.
That's fair. I think my favorite team to play is Intercession. I think that they're just a lot of fun to play.
Do you What do you think of how would you fix them then in terms of like an elite team, Dakotah?
So I really, really liked a suggestion that we got from Adrian on a past episode. And that was to change the Overwatch mechanic entirely.
Yep, agree. Yep.
Where instead of it just being like an Overwatch shot, if you had an Overwatch action, you could swap to, you could change orders, or you could do like a dash.
Or a fight as well.
Or you could do, I don't know about fight. I think a fight might break the game.
Yeah, fight would be a little too aggressive. Multi-charges, all you're trying to do is push.
Yeah.
A 6-man team, 2 operatives up just to be disruptive, and you'll win the game.
Yeah. I mean, shooting is fine, but I think that like other people have said that the game entirely would need to be changed if that was the case, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that there is something like super desperate that needs to happen. So I would like to see either Armor of Contempt come in.
Dude, I was just about to say, like, I was thinking it might be like a durability thing. Like when you have something like a Vet Guard's Demo Man or Melter or Plasma, you can trade 1 for 1 with the Marine.
Dude, it's disgusting. Like
disgusting.
Yeah.
At Nova, I killed 3 Space Marines in 1 in each round.
Yeah.
With the Demo Man. It was fucking stupid. So, so turn 1, I moved up and I placed the Demo Mine. I hit 2 of them and I was able to dash away. I got first activation. Turn 2, I placed 1.
Dude.
Right, and then I blew it up and I had a rosary on him. And I rolled a hit. I rolled a hit, and a miss. So I rosaried one of them, and I lived with 2 life. Right, and then on turn 3, he moved a person in range again. And I got first turning point again on turning point 3, and I placed another one, and I just killed him, and I killed myself. But hey, that's how you kill 3 Space Marines.
Incredible trade.
Oh my god. The hero demo man everybody aspires to be.
That is why he is Steven Seagal on my list, because he's a very, very bad man. Kills his own people sometimes, kills himself, and kills everyone else. He's maybe in real life too. Who knows? I've seen a lot of his movies. I'm a big fan of Steven Seagal. Maybe not the best person, but hey, enjoyable to watch.
He knows how to plant demo mine.
Yeah, he does. He sure does. Yeah, so I could definitely say that maybe ignoring an AP for each one could be a fix.
Do you think that should be built in, or do you think that should be a ploy? I think I'd love to try it if it's just built in. It
wouldn't solve the problem in the melee teams. You ignore the AP on shooting, and then Felgor and Void Dancer will just come pick you up.
No, dude, Felgor, they slap Felgor if you play him right. So
Legionary do, yeah.
Legionary and Intercession. Intercession, the key to go into. I see a lot of people misplay the Felgor matchup. As Intercession, everyone goes shooty, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to shoot you to death," and they're like, "Oh, you killed me, but I don't give a fuck because I'm still alive." So what you do is you take your grenade launcher. Sometimes you give them an Auspex. You take your leader with the flamer and the power sword. You switch. You switch to duelist, and you have durable. You always have to have durable. That's why I think the number one fix that they need to do is revert durable and just make durable a thing again. And everyone's going to take it, but hey, it is what it is, right? So if you take durable to a competitive, anytime that they attack you, the amount of crits that they're going to roll is you're always going to, lessen 1. So that 1 damage adds up over time. And then you also take a bunch of tilting shields. So you take 5 assault intercessors, one of which is the sergeant. You put the tilting shield on the sergeant and 2 other guys or 1 other guy, and then you give the Auspex to your final guy, to your grenade launcher, and you just beat them in close combat. You can fight twice. You can shoot them with your pistols, which have AP1. You have a flamer, which does surprising work, especially if you tie some people up and then you're able to fall back and then shoot them with your flamer. You can just trade pretty effectively. It's still always a tight game, but it's definitely doable. So
I like that. Yeah, you could, instead of trying to do the standoff shooting, use the pistol shooting, which is almost just as good.
Yeah,
honestly, just as good, I think.
Yeah, and they're going to charge you afterwards. Cool. Well, you could shoot them and then charge them and hit them and kill them in 2 hits. Right? They're going to do 4 damage back, but hey, you get 5 dice hitting on 3s. Giacomo, have you found, you play Intercession quite a lot? Have you found any kind of other hidden strats into Felgor?
No, I pretty much do exactly that. I take 2 shooters. I'll take one, the grenade launcher. I'll take one guy who has the Doom Bolter. Their job is to force Frenzy, and then my Assault Marines run up and just have to roll 1 critical. Then it's over.
Fair.
And it
out
works.
Of 5 dice?
Out of 5 dice, you have a huge chance.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But it is a nerve-wracking game because positioning's important.
I've seen Void Dancer Kisses go into Vet Guard and roll no crits and then be sad. Because
you're right. It does happen that you got to just take a Assault Doctrine, and every turn you're charging, always be charging ABC.
Yeah. Intercession's probably, Inquisition's also pretty okay into Felgor because you can take 6 stun grenades, and then you can also take, you literally just stun the shit out of them because they want to stun you too. And you're just like, oh, well, all you guys have 1 AP now.
Oh, but they have the, what they called the equipment.
Warpaint.
Warpaint. Yeah.
Now here's the crazy thing. I've seen less and less people take Warpaint, especially Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy Kelly's the one that's turning me on to this.
Oh yeah.
At LVO, he only took Warpaint once or twice. And every other time he doesn't take Warpaint.
What was he taking instead? The rending?
He's taken all sorts of random shit. Yeah. I think that's the trap that Games Workshop's going to go into, is they're going to be like, hey, we're going to nerf Warpaint. Hey, the team is fixed. No, guess what? No, it isn't, because they perform just as well. Okay, I can get stunned now. Okay, so what? 3 teams have stun grenades? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this podcast has just become a bitching session about over the past few episodes about Felgor and Pathfinders.
I love them. Okay, Felgor, fun time, great.
Vivek,
time,
you are losing points with me, okay, my friend. Okay, playing Vetguard can only get you so far. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, man.
I'm building a second Vetguard team.
Hey, what are you playing him as? Because
I'm using Scion bodies because they're my favorite guardsman bodies.
Really
and just building the same Vetguard kill team.
You want to hear another stupid opinion of mine?
Sure.
You don't like the Scion bodies?
Scions are okay. No, I think they're fine. I just like them with the berets better than
yes, absolutely. The old ones.
Yeah.
I like helmets. I have a bunch of those old Kazarkin.
Giacomo, you use them for your Kazarkin, right?
Exactly.
Oh, dude, that Kazarkin you painted up the other day with the blue eyes with the dot.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that was a lot
amazing.
of fun.
I was like, how the hell did he get into that? It's crazy.
Steady hands, a lot of practice. Yeah, you too can do it. I believe it. I've seen your painting skills. You got it. You got the chops.
See, Giacomo, his Giacomo's thing about hobby is if you never put heads on your models, you're just afraid to paint skin and faces. And
that's
I
true.
agree.
And that's okay. You don't have to paint faces.
Yeah. But as an experienced hobbyist, I think that it's a really good place to challenge yourself to always make, strives in painting is to always paint faces and to paint skin. I think skin is, especially being colorblind, very fucking difficult for me.
Oh my God, you're colorblind too?
Yeah, I'm colorblind, my guy. Like Giacomo is sitting here and he's like, I had this argument at Loaded Dice recently. He was like, yeah, I have an olive skin tone. Like, there's a little bit of green in my skin. I was like, Giacomo, you're not a fucking orc. Shut the fuck up. Right. and then I was at Loaded Dice and somebody was like, oh, this is olive flesh tone. That's a little green. And I was like, looking at it and I was like, dude, that's fucking brown. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, no, there's a little bit of green. And I was like, no, there's not. Like, shut the fuck up. So obviously I have lacking in certain areas, and that's probably why I can't paint Asian skin tones or olive skin tones very well, because they just come out as Caucasian because I can't see the fucking green, so I don't add it, Yeah. I can see orc green, but that's like part of the 16% spectrum of green that I can actually see.
Right.
Everything else is like fucking shit and brown. So going back to, I'm debating on attending a Games Workshop tournament this year, possibly one or two.
Which one are you thinking?
So I have a homie, Ronnie, my other colorblind friend, and we can just like rest in solace about, we see the world the same. Everyone else can fuck off. He obviously can't see olive skin tones either.
What about red corsairs? Can you see red corsairs?
I can see red. I'm not fully colorblind. I'm color deficient.
Okay.
Mostly lacking in the green cones in my eyes. That's what Google told me.
So basically, don't paint green plasma if you want to win a painting competition with you judging.
I'm actually decent at painting green because I follow recipes, and I can see. I usually paint vibrant greens, and I don't go into like the camos and all that kind of shit. I'll tell you a really bad colorblind story in a second. But I picked up some. So my guardsmen are all third party. They're all like the action heroes and all that kind of stuff, and I have to repaint them anyways. So what I'm probably going to do is I just bought a box of Cadian shock troops and a box of Kasrkin. I'm probably going to so I did a paint scheme for a client of mine. I did the Halo, some Halo guys for a client for their Kasrkin teams. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to do that Master Chief again, but put them on a 25 mil base, and then take all the Cadians and then give them all ODST helmets and make just Master Chief and a bunch of ODSTs. And that'll probably be my new GW, because I made those 3D files, so apparently they're allowed, which is helpful. But yeah, here's the bad colorblind story. I think I've said it before. I was painting that same team, the Halo Kasrkins, and the sniper was a pink sniper, the pink Power Ranger And I asked Giacomo, what greens look good with this? And he was like, these color greens. And I did like a bunch of like tests for the camo cloak. And he was like, this set of colors right here. I was like, cool. So I painted the whole cape up. I did the whole thing. It was super nice. And they're like, yo, those aren't the color greens that we said. That looks fucking awful. And I was like, what are you talking about? I used like cyber. And then it turns out that I accidentally picked up the Cyberite green.
Oh, no.
And all like the cool green spectrum. And I just painted them. And I couldn't fucking tell the difference between, because when you start putting a bunch of greens together, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks normal. And they're like, no, we said like use Dark Angels green, not Cyberite green. And I was like, I mean, I can see the difference, but the difference is minimal, if that makes sense. They both are kind of like really cool and dark, especially the green shade from the Dark Angels. That shit's like almost black to me.
Caliban green.
That's the one. That's the one, Caliban green. Yeah, so, and then I had to repaint the whole fucking cape in camo. It fucking sucked. Wow. Let me tell you what.
So, sorry, Dakotah, which GW tournament were you thinking of heading to?
So one in Texas. The one in Texas, I'm definitely thinking about. Cool. I think the tickets went on sale today, so I probably need to buy them after this podcast. And then I'm thinking about the Tacoma Open too, but I have to get permission from the wife. I'm also going to be going to Nova.
So there's Nova as well. That should be a good one. That's
nice.
massive FOMO last year.
Everybody's going to come down
and do it.
And then I'm also thinking about Kill Scream. So those might be the 4 that I attend. But Tacoma's still up in the air. I love the guys going up there, but I might just go to Kill Scream. It depends. I don't want to be away from my kiddo and my wife that many times, you know? So we'll see. But Texas is I get to go see my homie and I get to do it, play games. I mean,
always the best combo.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So those are probably the ones I'm going to attend. And then obviously we're throwing the All Valley Team Tournament, which is our biggest one out here. And we haven't published our dates for our tournaments yet because of, there's a few reasons. FLG and BAO might not have Kill Team. So we might be running Kill Team the exact same day at a different venue because they are transitioning this year to a bigger space. So we'll see if that actually happens. And also what's it called? Oh, the AVTT, we might be expanding to 40K and Kill Team. So we might be renting a really big venue and having a 40K team tournament and a bigger version of our team tournament. Last year we had 56 players, 21 teams. So it looks like we already have people from the East Coast interested in coming over. So that's one. If you guys want to come to another California one, I know you guys are already jumping all over the place, but it's pretty fun. Team tournaments are the best form of tournaments, in my opinion. I
love team tournaments. We're actually going to a 40K one in 2 months.
Oh, yeah? What are you going to be playing?
I'm playing, so as team captain, I'm playing Borrowhammer, so everybody else gets their first picks, and then we have a bunch of great people in the club who are ready to lend out an army, and I'll pick one.
Probably guard. So what you are the George of 40K.
He is.
Wow.
Yeah, on the
tables
side,
have turned.
Yeah.
How the turntables
have turned.
He was kicking my ass at 40K over the summer as well, which was...
Were you playing Eldar? You filthy... I play Eldar.
No, I was playing Thousand Suns, man.
Okay. And what was Vivek, what were you playing?
I'm playing Death Watch with 3 planes.
Yeah, the dirtiest skew list I've ever seen in my life.
That is fair. George, are you going to this 40K team tournament?
No, not this time. I think I'm back in the UK.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
That's cool. We'll get him for the next one. We'll get Magnus painted up. It'll be beautiful.
Okay.
We'll have every single Chaos Army represented. It'll be a good time.
Oh, amazing.
Pretty rad, actually. Yeah.
40K players have 5-man team tournaments.
This one's 8.
8? Oh, you guys are going
in
to
your
the world
team?
Yeah, which is why I went the I'll fill route. So the last team tournament we went to, I took World Leaders for the first time and went 4 wins and a draw. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do it again. Let's just pick a team or yeah, a team I've never played before and just take it to a team tournament.
Yeah, I think I've gone 3-3 at every team tournament we've been to, except this last one felt exceptionally good. Like everyone was losing. We had 2 wins and 2 losses. It all came to my game. My game was the final game. It was Eldar versus, this is last edition, so you guys can't hang me right now. But it was Eldar versus Harlequins, and I was playing the super, super dirty skew army of Mortal Wound Bombing with Yanari.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to play. And every game that I went first, I won. Every game that I didn't go first, I lost. So I went first that game. Yeah, and I think I blew up like 6 of his little transports, and then I had another one come in and kill a bunch. So it was fantastic. And Giacomo was playing Space Marines, the true little Dornian hero himself, you know?
I was holding it out, man. Imperial Fist sucked back then.
They did.
Imperial Fist look like they need some love, okay?
Yeah.
So this is a Kill Team podcast.
No, not really. I mean, we play all games. In fact, I wanted to talk about something that's very fascinating. Do you guys play all skirmish games and all board games?
I do love board games, but for me, it's just Kill Team and 40K.
Boo. Okay, fair.
We are actually starting Friday night board games.
I can barely paint what I have.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't want to see my shelf that I'm looking at right now. Giacomo knows exactly what the fuck I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my Song of Ice and Fire models up there. Jesus.
Is that good? Have you tried it?
No, they're all unpainted. They're still,
okay.
I've had them for like 5 years, and I take them out to look at them and play D&D with them, and that's about it.
At least they get some good use.
I know, right? So there's 2 brand new skirmish games that are coming out that seem interesting to me, and I like the fact that they're both competing with each other. So Simon, who makes a bunch of really good games, but they really Simonified this game. I'll tell you guys what I mean about that. They just released a Kickstarter that I've been following, and also Knight Models, who does Batman the miniature game, who makes beautiful models,
wonderful models.
Yeah, Harry Potter the miniature game, and DC Universe they also did Marvel before Asmodeus Games and AMG. Before they got the rights. So they're both coming out with a skirmish Game of Thrones game.
Oh wow!
So Knight Models is their skirmish game is based off of the TV show. So they have all the rights to the characters' faces and all that kind of stuff. So they're producing those models. Simon is making a skirmish game from a Song of Ice and Fire models. So you can use the models that you already have. And then they have the new Kickstarter out with the new like Stannis Baratheon. I think it happens before. I think it's like set in the time of right before Game of Thrones when
Robert's Rebellion or something. Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
So wait, so they both use the same miniatures, but it's different rule system for each one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so they are the exact same models from A Song of Fire and Ice, as well as but they're both skirmish games and they're both a fantasy game, and I haven't got any fantasy games. And let me tell you what, I have been dying for a fantasy skirmish game. I really want a Lord of the Rings, an actual Lord of the Rings one.
I would jump both feet for a Lord of the Rings skirmish game. I'm there all the way.
I'm not going to lie. I've been talking to Giacomo. I was like, dude, we should come up with a skirmish. And we have a couple ideas. We should come up with a fantasy skirmish game. But my original idea was to like have it for Lord of the Rings and maybe just have like our own rule set for it or something. I don't know.
Go on the models as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and just have like an actual competitive one, because I mean, like you could just play Lord of the Rings as Lord of the Rings, but like fantasy, I think is really fucking cool. I love D&D. So.
Oh yeah. I host a D&D game every Sunday.
Do you?
Yeah.
What
a long time DM.
What edition?
So right now we're doing 5th edition,
Okay.
full homebrew universe by me. But we've done
Fuck
Star
yeah.
Wars RPG. That's the other big one. We've done a few other like Call of Cthulhu and other systems. We tend to come back to 5e just because it's manageable.
Yeah.
Star Wars RPG is probably my favorite though.
Okay. My wife DMs GMs, I should say, a game for a bunch of Hollywood actors for
Nice.
for Star Trek.
Ooh, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, one of her players is the director from Maverick.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. I mean, it's like a big humble brag that I get to say for her. You know, I mean, it's like, wow, you get to fucking meet with this guy like once a month, and that's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Tabletop role playing games are my jam. So much
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
George, do you play D&D and all that kind of stuff? Or
I used to. I'm back home. Back when I was living in the UK, we were very big on board games. So we actually, my route back into everything was the Game of Thrones board game. Did you ever play that?
no, I didn't.
It's a 6-player free for all, and with a few good mates, it's a lot of fun. It gets so snaky, so that everyone's like kind of texting under the table, and like you have to
Should
kind of
try
like
that at
ally with
game
someone
night.
to kind of win.
Oh, sick.
But then you can like betray and stuff like that. It's really good. So we must have played loads of games of that. But then we moved on to Roots. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
So that's another board game. It's got like really cutesy art, but it's probably the most brutal game out there. It's like a free for all based in a forest, and like there's like lots of different factions, and like each one has like different mechanic. It's really good game. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds cool. Giacomo, do you play any other like type of board games? And then I have a question for Vivek here.
Types of board games, all sorts of them. Recently, none, but I used to have a cafe that was out here in Glendale, California, that we would go to Game House before they closed down, and we would play all sorts of board games there. I miss those days.
Board game cafes are awesome.
Yeah.
it's fun.
So
we were actually starting one up at MLWG. So we're doing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
So
we're doing Friday nights.
doing Friday night once a month. Everyone just brings a board game, so it's like really unstructured. So
that's sick.
yeah, it should be good fun.
So Vivek, when you were playing D&D, how did you respond to the OG crisis, the license crisis, the beginning of last year with Wizards?
I mean, whenever something creative gets overly corporatized, this happens. So it's more just, I'm not going to buy any more stuff. I have enough stuff, enough books to last me a lifetime for 5e.
Fair.
So like going forward, like, am I going to buy more Wizards of the Coast products? Probably not, because I see the direction they're going in. They're gonna ruin the game for the consumers.
Yeah.
They're gonna find some predatory way to turn people off of it. But then that will open the field for competitors. There's so many cool systems out there. It'd be great if someone else got like a day in the sun.
Yeah, Pathfinder's pretty cool. I know it was interesting with the OG with the OGL crisis. Pathfinder's sales, they sold more in like 2 weeks than they did in like a year and a half or 2 years.
Wow.
Because everyone just started dropping 5th edition. Now the thing is, like 5th edition supposedly, and everything before 5th edition is supposedly still like open license, but of course we'll have to see if that actually continues. But Pathfinder's a really good alternative. I know I played a shit ton of 3.5 Pathfinders. That was probably one of the best game systems. It's just unfortunate how scaly 3.5 was for D&D and stuff.
The crunchiness of Pathfinder was always my favorite aspect.
Yeah.
Because I was always trying to do something ridiculous. Like, I want to play a fighter who uses 2 shields. You could do that in Pathfinder.
Yes,
You can.
And it would actually help you out. Like, you could take the right feats and stack things the right way so that using 2 shields wasn't just fully kneecapping yourself and you'd have a good time.
Yeah, I had a Spartan warrior that could throw his shield and come back like Captain America. It made me and he didn't wear armor and he was a fighter. And that was possible because you could do it in Pathfinder. Not in 5th edition. It's like, oh, you're not wearing armor and you're a fighter. You fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
2 AC is too statistically relevant.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty good stuff. But yeah, I think we're coming to that time, fellas. Is there anything else that you guys want to shout out?
Well, thank you for having us. This is a great time.
Hell yeah, dude. Anytime.
Yeah, looking forward to next year. LVO. It should be good.
Oh yeah, LVO. We'll see you at a bunch of other events. We'll reconnect. It'll be a good time.
We'll also have to get you guys on again before your next big tournament, so that we can catch up and see how the Canadians are doing. You
can see my newly painted Chaos Cult.
Yeah. I'm gonna love that.
I mean, I'm looking at them right now.
You should make them X-Fat God.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yes.
That is great.
Perfect.
But yeah, just shouting out our local scene. So everyone at MLWG, Niall, Phil, Alex, who came with us and completed the competitive event at LVO, Reese for making the jerseys, Miguel for coming to LVO as well. And then also like everyone in the local scene. So we've got a lot of tournaments coming up, as we mentioned earlier in the episode. So you can check us out on our Discord. I can give you a link, and if people want to use it, they can use that.
Yeah. How did Reese and everyone like the narrative event?
They absolutely loved it.
We're going to be doing more ourselves.
Yeah.
My second LVO regret, not playing on asymmetric ITD, not being able to do both the comp and the narrative. The narrative looked so fun.
Those boards, you absolutely smashed it with them.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, Saya and I and the LVO rescue team really put in a lot of work on those narrative boards. In fact, I think we spent like a full 2.5 weeks just like building and painting. Like we were done with LVO outside of our fires here at the shop, but we definitely slaved away on those things. There was nothing else for me to do other than to build great fucking game boards because my shop basically burnt out.
Boy, are they great.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Gee, is there anything you want to shout out, homie?
Yeah, of course. If you want to join the conversation, you can find us on Discord. Our link is in the show notes. Also, you can find me on Instagram. That's under wargaming_studios. I'm painting some Votan right now. I'm actually getting to it. I decided I'm going to try to finish it this year, but I'm sure I'll get distracted. So it's fine. I'll find something else to finish. And if you're looking to purchase miniatures or tickets for upcoming events here in the United States through Frontline Gaming, we have our affiliate link in the description as well. Anything you purchase there costs no extra to you and gives us a little bit of a kickback, which helps us bring more stuff for you guys. Yeah. And if you can, give us a rating, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, things called Apple iPod Podcasts, I can't remember anymore, Spotify, and wherever else.
Yeah, those ratings really help out. A couple other cool things. I talked to Giacomo today about really trying to ramp up our creative juices for YouTube and coming out with a lot more videos. We have a lot of really cool and fun things that we're gonna be doing on our YouTube here pretty soon. And once I get the streaming studio back in order, hopefully we'll start streaming every Tuesday as well. Battle report games and narrative games as well. We'll play our own narrative so everyone gets to experience it. So, but yeah, thank you both for George and Vivek for both jumping on and talking and shooting the shit. It's been a blast to have you both on.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. And thanks to our patrons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Patreons make the world go round.
Absolutely.
And you too can join our Patreon. Even at the base level, you'll be supporting us, and we really appreciate that. Also, for our higher tier Patreons, the latest episode of the Squad Games Redacted is up, so feel free to give that a listen. All right. Guess I'll see you guys later.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
See ya.
The Squad Games Podcast is a production of Squad Games Entertainment. For more information on Squad Games, please visit our website at lestersworkshop.com/squad-games.